This is English shorthand dictation number 93 and the dictation speed is 140 words per minute. Ready? Start. Honorable Speaker, Sir, I rise to speak in favor of the statutory resolution that I have given opposing the Essential Commodities Amendment Ordinance. Black marketing and hoarding were always a problem in the country ever since the Second World War. India's first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru had said that black marketeers will be hanged from the nearest lamp post. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Black marketing went on. So, ultimately, the country adopted an Essential Commodities Act in 1955. The Essential Commodities Act gave power to the state government to regulate the trade, including imposing stock limits for various intermediaries. Even now, though the country is surplus in most food grains, it cannot be denied that there is hoarding and black marketing taking advantage of seasonal shortages or floods or droughts. Now, the government wants to take away the powers of the state government to regulate, and the power to fix stock limits is being taken away. If we look at the Essential Commodities Act, what are the essential commodities? Essential commodities are fertilizers, drugs, foodstuffs, yarn, petroleum, raw jute, seeds of food crops and seeds of cattle fodder, etc. So far, the position was that this will be regulated. Commodities such as cereals, pulses, oil seeds, edible oils, onions and potatoes will be regulated. Now, what does this ordinance do that it has been brought in a hurry? I do not understand what was the hurry in bringing the ordinance. There is a provision to deregulate commodities such as cereals, pulses, oil seeds, edible oils, onions and potatoes. The only addition is now the government has specifically said that under extraordinary circumstances, which include extraordinary price rise, war, famine, natural calamity of a severe nature, it can be regulated. But otherwise, all these items will be deregulated. I know that this ordinance leaves out the public distribution system and the targeted public distribution system, where under these systems food grains are distributed by the government to the eligible persons at subsidized prices. So, what is the benefit the government seeks to get from this? I say that there is no benefit. Now the government has also said that there will be no control on the stocks of food items which have been processed. The stock limit shall not apply to a processor or value chain participant of any agricultural produce if the stock limit does not exceed the overall ceiling of installed capacity of processing or the demand for export in case of an exporter. So this is also left out of this control of stock limit. Now, does the government feel that there is no longer any possibility of shortage because we are an exporter? Sir, you have seen the pictures and sights of immigrants scrapping for a morsel of food during the COVID-19 crisis. How did they scrap for a morsel of food? Now the government may say that the ED Act was not effective because the conviction rate under ED Act was abysmal. It was 3.8%. So, if the government has set up an effective food framework to ensure speedy trial and disposal of violation cases, I could have understood. But we know that even after Mr. Narendra Modi became Prime Minister, there was the pulses scam that involved the manipulation of prices in 2015, and the investigation by the Income Tax Department found several big multinational companies playing a major role in spiking the prices of pulses. So it has happened during Narendra Modi's government itself. Sir, we have to remember that India is still dependent on the monsoon for producing sufficient food grains. A majority of farm holding in India is small and marginal. That is why an Essential Commodities Act must still be in place and all regulations must not be given up and opened to the market. Recently, there is a scare of locust attack in Rajasthan. The locust attack destroys all crops. What happens if some states have locust attacks? Will you not control the stocks at that time? The El Nino phenomenon has hit the Indian agriculture hard in the past. Sir, given the timing of this ordinance, it is likely to benefit big traders big corporates and MNCs, but not the farmers directly. I want to say that the three farmer-related ordinances that were brought forward by this Modi government are all meant to help the private sector, the multinationals, the big capitalists into food grains trade. Sir, Reliance is already selling vegetables through Reliance Fresh. I anticipate that Adani will soon enter the field, and these three ordinances will actually help the big capitalists to enter into the farmers' markets. I will speak on the other ordinance later. Sir, our policies must ensure sustainable farm growth, taking into consideration factors like climate change, land holdings, consumer capacity, and the farmers' interests. Sir, I had mentioned yesterday that this act is another example of quasi-federalism on display. Earlier, the states used to control the Essential Commodities Act. Every state had an enforcement branch which implemented the Essential Commodities Act. That power is being taken away. We are happy that the farmers produces enough for our needs and even for exporting food grains. But that does not mean a calamity cannot hit us. A calamity like the COVID-19 has hit us, and we know the condition of the economy with a 24% downslide in the economy. That is why I am totally opposed to the Essential Commodities Amendment Ordinance. I think this is an effort to give benefit to big traders, corporates, and MNCs so that they can enter the food trade. The poor farmer will be left in the lurch through all this. Honorable Chairperson, Sir, I oppose the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. Sir, the original Essential Commodities Act was enacted in 1955. The object was stated in the preamble. Its object was an act to provide in the interests of the general public for the control in certain commodities. One of the prime objectives of the act is to regulate the production, supply, and pricing of the essential commodities to ensure availability of the essential commodities at fair prices. The aim of the act was curbing the holding, black marketing, and profiteering in such commodities. The object is to deter a person from dealing in an essential commodity and consequently impose a deterrent penalty against him. If you read the amendments which have been sought for, this will be established. As it appears from the speech of the earlier speaker, the cat is out of the bag. Now the objective of curbing, hoarding, black marketing, and profiteering in such commodities is going to be taken away. That has to be stopped. All are aimed at the purpose of handling by big businessmen. With regard to Section 3, the amendment which has been sought in respect of that, I will say that deregulating such agricultural foodstuffs from the list of essential commodities will lead to every chance of holding and thereby resulting in price rise in retail and ultimately leading to the excessive financial burden on the common people. Moreover, as per the amendment, even in extraordinary circumstances, only the central government can choose to exercise regulation. Such legislative ambiguity leads to the question of the entire exercise of introducing a particular provision. If you read the words in the amendment itself, you will find that these are extremely vague. Therefore, unbridled power has been sought to be given by this amendment. Sir, the amendment exempts the processor of value chain participants of agriculture produce from the regulation of the stock limit. If the stock limit of such a person does not exceed the overall ceiling of installed capacity of processing or the demand for export in case of an exporter, such exemptions in terms of removal of stock limit to exporters and traders and value chain participants may not benefit farmers. Instead, it appears to have been done to benefit certain vested giants in this sector. Sir, it is our common experience. Had it been only for the benefit of farmers, I would not have objected to it. But now, because of the amendments, the middlemen will come and take away the benefits. Now the government is regulating it. The government is purchasing from the farmers so that the farmers get the fair price, and at the same time the customers also get in at the fair price.